Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. I can only apologise, I didn't do a video about Mando Season 3 episode or Chapter 19 this week so far. I just couldn't get around to doing it, but man, I'm up to that now. So sorry about the delay, but look at this little trio here now. There you go, you've got R5-D4 there, Mandalorian, that's my favourite Mando figure, and of course little Grogu. But it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. I've just put a few figures out here just so I can just to remind myself of the things that happened in it. There's Bo-Katan there, Grievous. He wasn't in it, but there was something similar, I guess. Although I didn't see any similarity other than the eye. Reminded me more of the Dianoga, that creature thing. But still, it's a really snowy day out here in the UK, ladies and gentlemen. It's melting now, but man, it was proper thick before. Maybe I've got some other images I can put up for you. So, it's Friday, March the 10th. And so, again, I'm sorry, only getting around to talking about this episode now. Pelimoto, the opening scene, was a little bit goofy, should we say. And you saw the Jawas. I did have a slight issue with the Jawas. They were kind of clean looking, weren't they? I don't know what your thoughts are on Pelimoto. I like him, man. I'm invested in the series. I had a few people moaning about last episode. And I can totally understand your gripes. A lot of people think it's getting watered down and maybe it's becoming more family friendly, although it always was really, because it sort of brings everyone together in a way. You know, this little fella is so popular and the relationship between the two and everything. But the whole opening scene with Pelimoto, and every time she appeared, even in season 1, she's got a slight... Well, I think she's funny, but I can understand how maybe people might find that a little bit goofy or something. But that's really all I can say, really. If you've got any thoughts on that, let me know. But the Jawas, they look like Disney Park Jawas or something. I don't know. But that was funny. So they had that opening scene. He's looking for a droid still. And he ends up walking away with R5-D4, which is just... It depends on your point of view. There will be people out there who absolutely love this droid. I've always liked R5-D4. But for me, R5-D4 was a droid on the way out. There's a famous shot of him or her, never assume the gender of the droid, in A New Hope, when R2 first goes up in the sandcrawler. All the droids animate, it's almost like they're all waking up. And this guy is just in the top, and he's turning his head really slowly. Again, they're all reanimating, I guess. But then obviously after that, he blows his motivator. He's got a bad motivator, look! So I always assumed that this guy was just on his way out and that was it. He was just a slow-moving droid, potentially older than R2. But I think are R4 models more modern than R2 units? I just don't know. But this guy in this series is bouncing and animated and quirky. It's not how I ever imagined R4 being. I thought he was just on his way out, man. Slow-moving, lethargic, wrecked. But anyway, but that's that. But it is undeniably funny and awesome seeing R5-D4. Although they could have had another droid, maybe, I don't know. It's still pretty cool, and I know people love this droid from the original line. So that's that. He goes out to test the atmosphere on Mandalore because obviously there's concerns of the toxicity on the surface. He goes, and then he sort of disappears off the radar. He says it's probably only a glitch. So he goes out, turns his oxygen on, and then there's these creatures, and they are called, ladies and gentlemen, I did have to write this down. What are they now? The Alamites. Apparently they're a new invention, but never before seen in canon. So I heard, but I thought I'd seen them before in The Force Awakens. There's kind of a wolf-looking creature sort of bobbing around in there, but still, to cut a long story short, because I could babble on forever, but that reminds me, I really can't wait for them to bring out that fighter in TVC. So they go through the lower sections of the Civic Center, and it's pretty scary down there. There's a few creatures like just hanging around watching them, and the Mandalorian sees a helmet on the floor, and ends up getting entwined by this crazy spider-looking creature, ensnares him and traps him. You don't know what quite he's going to do with him. He's obviously a cyborg. You can see this horrible eye, which reminded me so much of Daleks. When you see what a Dalek looks like, they've just got one eye in their organic matter. He sort of disappears. He tries to get him out with the Force, does Grogu. It fails. He says, go and get Bo-Katan. So he flies off with R5-D4, gets Bo-Katan, who has longer hair now. I'll have to update that figure. And she goes to rescue Mando. After she rescues Mando, they do find the living waters in the mines of the basement of the Civic Centre of Mandalore. And then it gets a bit strange after that. I had to watch it again just to kind of be clear on what happened. He falls in the water. You totally expect him to have been pulled by a creature of some kind. Because she jumps in after him. And she has jetpacks. So if she's travelling at the speed of a jetpack, and he can't have fallen. He cannot have fallen and ended up at the bottom of the lake or whatever they are, the body of water. But he's lying at the bottom, almost like he has fallen and sunk like a stone. Which he's wearing. I know he's wearing Beskar, but would he sink that fast? So my first impression was that he was pulled down and then she rescues him. But the thing is, she doesn't rescue him from a creature. She just picks him up. But there is a creature in there, and it's the Mythosaur. Massive. You see firstly a tusk, then you see an eye, and you think, oh my God, what's going to happen now? Is it going to attack her? Nothing happens. It's just obviously sat, watching. So that's interesting. I don't know how this creature behaves and what it is, how exactly how big it is. And then what happened to him? What's your take on it, man? Did he fall? He can't have fallen. Because it just occurred to me yesterday when I watched it for a second time. And it was then that it occurred to me that she chased him with jetpacks, so he can't have been falling free fall. I don't know, man. Let me know what you think. But the rise of the Mythosaur is what was prophesized as the return of the next phase of Mandalore or something like that. Let's go and have a look at another big beast. This Mythosaur is huge. Way bigger than this. It was obviously the size of 3 or 4 Rancors maybe. Just a huge beast, and as Creel once said, your ancestors once used to ride the great Mythosaur. So I don't quite know what they're going to do with the Mythosaur, but that's interesting. So I'm looking forward to finding out that. And also what happened to Din Djarin. She flew him out of the water in a hurry. And, he was gasping for air and everything. So very interesting. Not quite sure exactly what happened there, man. What's your take? Let me know. Anyway, so it's good to see R5. Really entertaining episode. Started a little bit goofy with Pelimoto and the Jawas, but got really interesting. Nice to see a new planet of Mandalore. There was also a mention of Concordia, which is the moon that he is from, which was seen. It was great to see the star chart as well. Obviously, he's teaching Grogu, and they're looking at the star chart inside the N1 hybrid, and it was really good. That's when he says that line of, a Mandalorian needs to know exactly where he is in the universe and all of that business. So it's just interesting. Can't wait to see the next episode next week. Thank you for watching this breakdown. I hope you followed my waffle. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.